And good morning, everyone. My name is Sugi Yamagawa, and today on VTubing My Slow Life Hobbies in My 30s, we're going to be making persimmon bread. One of the great treats of fall, or at least it's been marketed as one of the great treats of fall to me. At least from Green Dean's website, which there's a link down below for today's recipe. Now, I've already went ahead and I've kind of got the ball rolling. Actually, let's see. Let me my audio a little bit. Hey, yep, that's you. And that is with melting butter, because I have to get the butter melted and then I have to cool it to room temperature. So that is melted butter. Off to the side with you. So, hope everyone out there is having a lovely morning. Say so far, mine's been pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be doing this somewhat standard style. By standard style, I mean like what I usually do. And that's I usually get the ball rolling with a good cup of tea. I am not a coffee person like Mr. Spock here. I'm definitely firmly on Team Tea, and that's just where my preferences lie. Okay, come here, you. There should be enough of that. Woo! Yikes. The thing is generally fun, but also generally heavy. Very heavy. And usually because of how hot the water is, I usually cut it with a little bit of cold water. Okay. So. And the fire's actually starting to get to the point where I want it to be. Granted, this also depends on how long the various preps take. So, I'm gonna get my phone out here and get a recipe pulled up. I got screenshots, and I also need to. One of the big things is I will not be following the recipe exactly because I'm halving it. I'm not looking to make 2 loaves of bread. That's a little bit too much bread for me. Instead, I'm going to be making essentially what is 1 loaf of bread. Is my game plan today. And yes, we'll be baking this in the Dutch oven. Sure. Might as well go ahead and start working on acquiring all the various ingredients, which we're going to be sifting. So I brought the sifter. I haven't really busted. I think this is the first time I've used this in a very, very, very long time. Okay. So that's approximately. Need a dash more. Make that a full cup. Because recipe calls for 3.5. So what I'm going to do is 1 3/4 flour. And this is also brown. No. Whole wheat flour. Whole wheat flour. I think it's also sometimes called brown flour. I bought a big thing of this like ages ago, and I really would very much like to get this used up. So, then once you get your dry ingredients in, you just go spinny, 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 and it sifts everything out. And the point of sifting all this is going to be making it finer. Makes it a lot easier to mix. Breaks up clumps, which is really important if you're baking. Oh wow, that was quick. That was quick, easy, and painless. I love it. Okay. Next step. I think I'm going to go with sugar. What is my sugar recommendation? So 2 to 2.5 cups. Come here, my bag of sugar. So you hang out there? I think you can hang out there. Hang out there, please and thank you. Now, I do have some... Okay, so the sugar is just automatically just... So I'm going to be doing a generous helping of sugar. Well, a generous cup. Well, right now we're just sifting dry ingredients for persimmon bread. I probably should put my lid back on my flour container. Okay. So that's sugar and my... Wait a second. Oh, wait, did I? Oh, yeah, I did actually grab that. Good for me. Good job, buddy. So let's do... So next up is, let's go ahead and do the baking soda. You're making bread from scratch? Yes. What kind of bread? We're making persimmon bread. Which, apparently, persimmons, you can actually, like, sub them out for a 1-to-1 ratio. You can sub persimmons for bananas in any, like, recipe, but this is actually a recipe I got from a person called Green Dean. He is a person who he is an old man from Florida who does a lot of foraging videos. And I've followed him for a very, very long time. And the persimmon bread recipe has been on my to-do for quite some time. And I could never be bothered to actually puree my own persimmons, but I did find some people who already made the puree. So I was able to just have a readily available source of that. So I don't actually have to process the persimmons, which is not a lot of work, but it's messy work. And let's see, I want 1.5 teaspoons of salt. So come over here, my Morton ionized salt. But yeah, I'm not expecting this to be too difficult as far as like recipes go. It's just gonna get exciting later. I'm honestly not gonna bother sifting the salt. Okay, so that's my teaspoon. Don't you just like remove the skin, white layer, and seeds? Yes. However, though, these are North American persimmons. These are not Fuyu persimmons. So the thing with North American persimmons is they are exceedingly soft fruit. They will, you can literally, they can turn to mush in your hand, which ideally that's what you want, because otherwise it's an exceedingly tart fruit when it's not right. Okay, so bottoms of parchment, preheat. First 5, flour, salt, baking soda, nutmeg. Nutmeg is my last one, and I want half. Have you tried eating one straight out of the freezer? No, I actually haven't tried eating one straight out of the freezer. Oh yeah, I just bought this nutmeg. I gotta remove the wrapper. Usually if I like harvest persimmons, I usually use them for, I'll usually snack on them. But if you say it's tasty, I might have to try that, because with the sugar content, they should be pretty good at... Okay. Probably take that lid off. And I might go with too... Might end up being a little generous, but we'll be careful to be too generous. A little bit generous, that's fine. There we go. That is the first 5 of the... But you need to let it fall for like... Ah, okay, okay. So it's basically like chocolate, where it's best frozen. Sifter... Down to the side. I need a mixer. Well, something to mix with. So we'll go ahead and we'll start getting all of the dry ingredients mixed. Huh. Okay. I might have to try that out, though. I think it's supposed to be a lazy way of making Solbert. Ah, okay. Cool. I do like lazy ways. I am very much lazy. And I do like the amount of material I have here. This is going to make plenty of bread for just little old me. So, we're going to have ourselves a nice little well. Actually, is my tea ready? Mm-hmm. Tea is ready. And fire's doing what I want. Back to the recipe. Stirring butter, eggs, liquor, persimmon puree, then nuts and raisins. Okay. Well, let's see here. The butter's technically supposed to be using butter at room temperature, but I think it's a little bit warmer than that. But I don't see anything wrong with that. Sure. Here's butter at 4 ounces. Now, oh, eggs, 2. So, hey, get out of there, key thing. Okay. That's 1 egg. Now, honestly, I should probably just keep these off to the side. I shouldn't try to yeet them into the garden. I might not make my aim true. And oh, there we go. There we go. Egg number 2. Egg number 2. That's all my egg. Recipe says 4, but we are doing halfsies. Next up, every time I see a persimmon or orange, it reminds me of a dish a restaurant created. It's the plate, but it looks like an actual orange. Ah. And now we get to add the liquor. And this is I don't know. I was just like, I literally went to the liquor store last night and was like, okay, how much bread are you making? Suppose I'm trying to do 1 loaf. I want 1 loaf. I don't want like a whole lot. You know, I thought I grabbed a knife. Did I fail to grab a knife? Well, let's see how much the butter knife can help me out here. Butter knife is plenty of knife. Not the liquor. This is actually my first time I've ever bought bourbon in my life. I have never bought bourbon prior to this. Prior to yesterday. There's an okay smell to it. Okay. Now What was my amount? I think it was... Yep. 1/3. So, measuring. There's a first for everything. There's always a first for everything. So, this is my half, but I'm just going to be not all the way. So, there's my... I'm only able to drink soju. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I just don't care for... I generally don't care for stuff like this, which... Honestly, this is probably enough cooking bourbon to get me through the next decade of my life. Which I'm just saying that simply because of... This is the first time I've needed it for cooking. But if I keep doing this type of stuff, I'm probably going to run into more recipes that call for it. Any other alcohol tastes nasty. That is fair. Okay, I think I get to do persimmon puree next. So I need my cup, and I need my knife. Which I'm also going to play with my fire a little bit, because it's really burning down. And also, that piece of wood's crumbling, which is good, because I need that to crumble. Because that's actually my... I actually threw one of my oak pieces I have laying around, simply due to we're going to be using the Dutch oven to bake this. And it needs to be... You need to be careful with alcohol and baking cooking, because if you don't do it right, it will taste bitter. Ooh, okay. Good to know. This is actually my first time using alcohol for cooking, but this is the persimmon puree. I got a little dab on my finger, so just give it a taste. Oh, yep. Hot diggity dog, that is the stuff. That is good stuff. Oh my goodness, that's good. Okay. Now, you know what? We're just gonna eyeball this, because I just need half this container for the bread. Honestly, half this container's plenty of puree. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, that's half the container. And I'm gonna lick my knife. Yes, that's good. That's good. Yep. That's good stuff. We're gonna have to figure out what I want to do with the remainder of the puree. Actually, yes. I'm gonna use that to hold this, because for now, we mix. We mix, we mix, we mix. We need. Oh. Apparently a bit of the side of my mixer came off, which, okay, that's interesting. Hopefully that doesn't say anything about how this stream's gonna mold. Granted, if I end up with delicious bread at the end of the day, I'm gonna be a happy camper. I'm gonna be a real happy camper. Granted, this is now the officially the not fun part, which is mix. Generate lots and lots of mixing. But everything's been sifted and the dry ingredients were mixed, so should be reasonables. Granted, it's definitely a workout. Granted, I do like how the dough feels. The dough feels pretty good. Like, it's not... doesn't feel too wet, doesn't feel too dry. All good things. Good things. Okay, so that's the first round of mixing. So there's a little bit of what we got there. Sorry the light level seems low, but that's the magic of the shade cloth keeping the sun off me. And the sun might get past that shade cloth. And so we got 2 more ingredients to add. And that's going to be pecans and raisins. Let's do the raisins next. Open up my container here. And I want around a cup. Now, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of raisins, so I might be rounding down my raisin amount. I mean, raisins are fine, but I'm just not a particular fan of them. Granted, that can be said of a lot of food that I consume is, it's good, it's fine, but I'm just not a particular fan of it. Okay. And yeah, there we go. A cup-ish of raisins. Now, time for something I'm really curious about here. And that's my pecans. Which I actually bought this specifically because I'm going to be using this in the next campfire cooking stream. There. Okay. So, I do have some, they're pretty large whole nuts, and I don't think I want that for my recipe. I'm baking a bread. So, I'm going to do... Oh, one fell out, but it was broken. So, be safe. There we go. Lid. Why did I grab cinnamon? Yeah, the recipe doesn't call for cinnamon. Okay. Well, that's what I get for looking at. But yeah, we have large, whole, big nuts, and this is a bread. I don't want big nuts for a bread. So, food processor time. Oh, got stuck. But that's fun. Yeah. Now the lid's stuck on the center thing. Okay, yeah, there we go. Got a nice, lot more fine, coarse chopped up. Yeah, I'll work with that. That's better. It's better to have the nuts kind of ground down a little bit for bread. Now, if I was using them as like a topping, like on top of, because I think they're going to get used as a topping for the next recipe I'm doing, then I would want to use them, then using them whole is a lot more desirable. So, with our raisins and pecans, we just go ahead and we get foldy, 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 foldy. And get it mixed into the dough. Which I do like the fact that the stuff is consistently in there, but it's not like there's not like too much of one thing, which is nice, which is really nice. Okay, I am getting very happy with my mixing here. So, we'll just do a little bit more. Be a little bit more thorough with it. And then we get to start on the fun stuff. Which, oh gosh. That's the thing with dough. Dough is such an arm workout. Which, at some point, I'll need to... There's going to be more dough working with in my life, unfortunately. Especially when... Because I did do one pizza making stream last year, but that was before I had my Dutch oven. And I want to actually make a pizza in the Dutch oven, like, properly at some point. Okay. I'm reasonably happy with that. Next step. Boink. Knife. I'm going to take my butter here, get a little bit off, set it there, and set it there. Mostly because I want to melt it. I'm going to be using a little bit of butter to essentially oil the bottom of the Dutch oven. That's what that's for. And now, I'm going to take a sip of tea because I deserve a sip of tea after all that work. And, wait, what? Hey, bird. How's life treating you? You having a good morning, bird? Man, birds, why are you doing that? I swear, some of these birds are just like flicking seeds out of the feeder. Which, hey, if you go through all that seed too quickly, I'm going to wait a long time before I refill it. And behold the star of today's show. Oh gosh, the mighty Dutch oven. So I now have to wait for butter to melt. But once the butter melts, which I'm hearing noises. Which, you can hang out there. And then we're gonna just have the Dutch oven in parallel. Kind of get a little bit of heat going on it. And my fire is actually chicken's fed and got an egg. Nice. Actually, before stream, I refilled my bird feeder, and now I have birds dancing around me. I have a lot of birds dancing around me. Which, if they get generous and, well, if they get brave enough, they might show up on the camera. Maybe I should have just put a whole bunch of, like, seed right over there. Oop. Melted butter. Great. So I can get my Dutch oven buttered. So let's make ourselves some room here. Come here, you Dutch oven. And now, regrettably, I have to get up because I need a paper towel. because I failed to grab paper towels before stream. Let's grab that many paper towels. A cooler lid. Paper towel acquired. Your other paper towel, just don't take off on me. I don't know how I feel about that being exposed to too much sunlight, so that's gonna go there. But yeah, paper towel's important, just because I want to spread that butter out, get a nice evenish layer, and also get my sides of the Dutch oven. That way, there's plenty of butter. Okay, with that, I can now begin to add my dough to the oven. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm really glad I brought the squeegee spatula. It's gonna really help me get all the dough out of my bowl. Knife. Oh man. There's a lot of bird activity right now. Wonder what they're getting excited about. Better not be getting excited about the fact that I refilled the bird feeder. Now there's... I don't know what that bird was yammering on about, but it was yammering on about something. Okay. Once I get... I'm gonna make... I'm gonna just layer this out. Because honestly, I'm pretty cool with the idea of just having like a big round dessert bread. So that seems quite reasonable to me. Dutch oven's prepped. Yay. That's done. And with that, I can now turn my attention to the fire. Particularly grabbing coals off of it. That's probably going to be hot. You come up here. And it's time for shovel time. Ugh. Okay, that was a fun pain. Okay, so start grabbing a good shovel full of coals. I think that's a good spot. Let's see, can I grab a few more? And a hair bit more. Please and thank you. And there we go. Lid. And oven. Hoo-yah. followed up by more coals. And I'll just do a little bit more. There we go. But I am going to take the coals and gather them up. So I kind of have like a pile in case I need to pull more coals for later. You stay there. Let's see, what do I want? And a little bit more wood just to keep the fire going. Because, well, it's not a campfire cooking stream without a campfire, so. Actually. So, get ourselves a spatula. And boy, oh boy, do I enjoy licking my spatulas. My goodness gracious. If that tastes anything at all like how the dough tastes, oh my gosh, this is going to be good stuff. Granted, I can easily see myself once it's made as being like, man, I should have just used more persimmon puree on that. Okay, now time for the important thing. I gotta set a timer. And timer set. Because that gets the bake. That gets to bake for an hour. Which is one of the joys of... Whew! That wood's smoking. Which is one of the great joys of doing baking on stream is, okay, now I wait. Now I wait, I hang out. Man, that dough's good though. I really like that dough. Like, it's sweet, but it has a slight savoriness to it. I think I'm gonna like this bread, which, as someone who's not a huge fan of bread, well, actually, no, I love bread. I just hate making bread. If anyone was around when I did the beer, cheese, and pretzel stream, that was a rough stream. Dough has always been my biggest enemy as far as like things to work with. Like, hands down, toughest thing in the world for me to actually work with and like actually do what I need to do with it. The biggest aspect of that is I don't necessarily have the best prep surface. Like, this is just a piece of plywood sitting on cinder blocks. So a big part of it is I don't have like a great surface to like really work a dough on. If I had like a good solid kitchen countertop, that's a completely different story. I can do a lot more on a countertop. It's a lot easier for me to put my weight into it. I'm not, and then if I'm doing it at a kitchen countertop, I'm standing up. It's a lot easier for me to like use my body to do the work versus like having to just do arm strength. But yeah, I'm gonna work on finishing off this tea. And hopefully that fire gets going better, because Jiminy Crickets, it's smoking bad. So what I did is I just took it over and kind of rested it a little bit. Kind of trying to raise it up so there's a little bit more air getting underneath it. Because I'm not getting too much smoke out of this guy. Yeah, that's right, birds. You flee when I look at you. Or I honestly hang out around the bird feeder. Ooh, we got a customer. Oh my gosh. There's a bird that flew up to the bird feeder, turned, saw me looking it in the eye, and before it even landed, it just was like, nope, nope, bailing, bailing. Ha! Get used to this, birds. I'm here. Deal with it. I'm also the guy that's responsible for feeding you, so. If it wasn't for me, you would not be getting that meal right now. Bloop. Okay, I need gloves of great thickness. Because the tea kettle gets exceedingly hot. Now granted it's been sitting down here out of the fire for 45 minutes, so I don't reckon it should be too bad. But that water's still reasonably steamy. Ugh. Ooh. That is heavy. Which also means it holds heat real well. Downside, it's hard to lift. Upside, I don't have to leave it on the fire for it to stay warm. It just stays warm. I don't have to worry about it. Whew. Okay. Oh man. Man, I gotta say, other than my fire pit being a little bit on the smoky side, I have... This is a good day for this. Because I'm not warm. Granted, it was actually a little chilly before I had the fire going, but I'm going to really look forward to even cooler temperatures, which I think I should get some of those in the upcoming weeks, which is going to be exciting. Now, granted, so my game plan for this month has been to do a dessert stream, which this is a dessert bread. This is a dessert bread. This is why I'm willing to play with bread this morning. Right now I'm starting to smell that, and that's starting to smell good. So we did the mango macadamia nut crisp. Today is going to be persimmon bread. Next week, I'm thinking the 14th, I'm going to be doing... I got a picture of the recipe here. You ready? Yep. Miso apple pecan bars. I think I'm going to be doing that stream on Tuesday, the 14th. And then I have one other dessert recipe I want to do, but because of the way so when I originally said I was going to do this, I had 4 dessert recipes, but the way things are the way things are looking, I might have to come up with another recipe, because I have a recipe for this week, and then I have one more. But my last recipe, I want to save that for the actual week of Halloween. So I have to come up with another dessert I can make around the fire. And unfortunately, pie is not an option because I'm not a pie guy. Which I might be hurting some people's feelings. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, I might go that route. Because when I did the mango macadamia nut crisp, Dad's old shop, when he saw the food, he was like, ooh, that looks like cobbler. And maybe I make a peach cobbler. I might make a peach cobbler. I like that idea. Actually, wait. Aww. I don't have any pens. I'm just gonna have to commit that to memory. Oh. Oh, man. Okay, you know what? I like that idea, though. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work splendidly. Whew. Man, I just wish that other piece of wood would stop smoking as much. Because it doesn't look like much for you all. But I am definitely doing more than enough to decrease the air quality in my local area. But hey, you know, that's what happens when you do stuff like this. I was actually burning some shavings from the pallet crate build, and boy oh boy did those smoke a lot. Especially when they like really burnt down. They didn't smoke too much when they were like first lighting up, but as they burnt down, they kind of really did some smoking. And now I watch birds have fun. I'm gonna be very distracted by birds. Granted, I'm also trying to really watch them, because earlier this week when I refilled the bird feeder, they emptied it in like 24 hours, where historically they never really emptied it that quickly. So granted, I am currently looking at one bird right now, and it looks like that bird's been kicking seed out of it. It's gonna be like, hey buddy, don't you be doing that. Because if the birdseed hits the ground, then the squirrels can get to it, and I'm less interested in feeding squirrels. Granted, I haven't seen squirrels actually on my bird feeder, which is good. They just got on. Squirrels just got on it that one time. Which I don't think I've shared a picture of that, but I wouldn't. I don't know. Whew. Okay. Good job, mate. Yeah. I set my tea kettle right on top of my fire manipulator stick. So, what's gonna happen now is I'm getting real tired of this amount of smoke. So what I'm wanting to do, well, what I would like to do is kind of get you somewhat like that. Have that bit of an angle. Get it a little bit higher up. Get it a little bit more. Whew. Get a little bit more air going. should help it out with. Which initially, I'm seeing more flame now, and that seems to be doing a reasonably good job. So we're about 15 minutes into our bake here. So it is time to do a shift. Well, to turn it. A little bit like that. And then there we go. Then that's done in order to make sure we get an even heat on it. Because that's the thing with wood fire heat, is it's very uneven. It is an uneven sort of heat. Ugh, big stretch. But yeah, that's smoking less. Really happy with that. Ah, moving truck. Ah. Let's see here. Grab you. Sit you over there. Okay. Goodness gracious, what? I'm trying to think if there's been anything exciting happening. Because yesterday I went and got the apples. So I have apples. Have 1.5 bushels, approximately 80 pounds. And eventually at some point I'm going to be doing a cider making stream. When, I don't know, because I'm waiting on a grinder from the Jungle website, and I can't do a cider making stream until I get the grinder in. I did get the fruit press in, but I still have to put that together, which might be one of my afternoon activities today, is getting that put together. I've already gotten a load of laundry started today, and yeah, I think I'm probably going to just be doing a lot of chores this evening, because yeah, there's chores to be done. Also, I'm looking at my garden, and I might have to play Scorched Earth policies in the garden later today. Potentially. Not entirely sure if I really will go full Scorched Earth, but if I end up feeling squirrely, I might bust out the weed burner and just torch the better part of it. Because unfortunately I deal with way too much crabgrass. And then I need to do a little bit of work on the container garden though. Because some of the lettuce is starting to bolt, and I need to take some of that lettuce out, switch it out with fresh lettuce, which I started some. I've got, because I actually have thyme I still need to plant out. I need to get that done at some point. That's probably the most important thing I plan out. And then I've also got some onion starts, some green onion starts, and I also have basil starts. Basil starts are going to just continue to do their thing for a while. Those are going to be, basil starts are going to be for like the area where I'm going to be setting up my cold frame, because I don't have to worry about freezing just yet as far as the 2-week forecast is concerned, but eventually I'm going to have to worry about freezing temperatures at some point. And the purpose of the cold frame is to keep my plants nice and cozy in cooler temperatures. So I get to play with that at some point, but I have time on that. Well, that was a nice pop. Oh man, that was a pop. Stop. Honestly, no. This is plenty of fire. I've got plenty of wood too. I've still got 4 sticks of wood, which is plenty. I don't think I'm gonna, because this actually just has to bake at like about 350, which honestly, I just gave it a generous amount of coals, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I'm not gonna worry about monitoring it too much because, well, it's like a watch pot never boil sort of thing. But I am occasionally getting some really delicious smells out of that, so hopefully that continues to do its thing and all that good stuff. Whew. But yeah, I think at some point here soonish, I might be I'm gonna look into getting a what's called a media mod for the GoPro, this camera, just to kind of help stabilize the video feed because it does get kind of glitchy, but usually glitches if I move a lot. But I do want to like, okay, buddy. I do want to get the media mod because I think that gets me a little bit more stability with the camera. And I gotta say, I have really liked this camera. To the point I'm considering the idea of getting rid of my Sony. But the Sony's technically my backup camera. Because if something happens with this, Sony is the thing I can like bring in. So I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna go. Well, I don't know. I think about things and I'm like, I could do this, I could do that, I could do whatever, and then I'm just like, whatever's about it. But I have been very happy with this camera. I have been very happy with this camera. I think the field of view is a little bit too wide. Shows a little bit too much, but I mean, past that, things look really crisp. Granted, it doesn't do dark too well, which is kind of why everything seems like really dark right now. Because the shadow line you see here, that's my shade sail, which it is very hard to do these streams in the morning without that. Oh, I see you, squirrel. You better not be going for my feeder. I am here right now. I can chase you away. Granted, I hope that squirrel doesn't go for my tomatoes. Granted, I'm actually at the point with like my gardening where I actually have like an overflowing abundance of tomatoes. Like tons of tomatoes. Not worried about tomatoes, which is nice. Especially considering how bad earlier this year was. Earlier this year was really, really bad. I definitely was not terribly proud of myself as a gardener this year. It's definitely been a more mixed bag thing this year in the garden, which is, it's fine, but I kind of wish I was better at tomato growing. Kind of wish I was actually making the salsa with my homegrown tomatoes versus Kirtland grown tomatoes. Granted, I do have to actually harvest tomatoes today. I get enough, I might actually... no, I'm not going to puree them. That's getting into a little bit too much work. I think I'm just going to harvest them and that be that. Yeah, because I did do taco soup, which is like my family's like... taco soup's basically what chili is in my family. It's like the cold weather sort of soup comfort food thing, and yeah, I've already done that. So I don't think I'm going to be doing it this fall or winter. Granted, I did find a really nice cheesy potato soup recipe, and I can't wait to make that. Really looking forward to that. But I still have a ways to go. And then that thought died. That thought just died out, which is generally what happens with my thoughts sometimes. The train doesn't leave the tracks just end. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm just glad that it's actually reasonably comfortable to actually hang out around the fire. Because when summer was in full swing, it was like, there's no way I can do this. And then that limits me on my options on things I want to do, which is why August was just like a whole bunch of Stardew Valley streams. But next week I will be getting back into Stardew, I think Thursday. I think I'll do that on Thursday. I haven't made an official schedule just yet. That's going to be one of my post this streams activities, is making up the schedule for the next week. Which next week is only going to have 2 streams because I'm going to be out of town next week. So I won't be able to do any weekend streams. So just a little bit of heads up on that. I am looking forward to the miso apple bars. Those sound really good. I'm really interested in seeing how miso works with apples. I'm really interested in seeing how those two flavors pair. And since I've also bought miso paste for this recipe, I now also have to look up other desserts that can use miso. So, well, not necessarily desserts, other food. I'm way too dessert-pilled brain right now. I am way too pilled on desserts. Which is nice. Once this month is over, I can take a break for a little while, and then I'll probably do 1 to 2, well, actually probably 2 dessert streams around the fire, because December is a really good month for desserts. And I do want to do peanut butter balls again. Just because that's like one of my favorite go-to classic. It's like my favorite dessert. It's my absolute favorite dessert. Huh, okay. And when it comes to my favorites, I always like doing my favorites more than once in a year. I don't do them as consistent. I'm willing to do my favorites a little bit more often. Whew. I wonder if I should throw. I'm actually in favor of. Yeah. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come here, you. And there you goes. So we'll juice up the fire a little bit. And then we'll have last cup of tea. This is a English rose. One of my good go-tos. We'll also see how hot this water is still. Still reasonably warm, looks like. Whew! You're a heavy lug. That you are. Okay, what's my time like? Okay, we're halfway through. I am curious. I do want to just take a peek at this. Looks good. Looks good. So, since we're halfway through there, let's do ourselves our next spin. Main thing turned, and then lid. Whew. Wow. And there we go. Now that just gets to cook for another half hour. Whew. But I really need to make it a point to have more various talking points prepared for this. But granted, it's baking bread for an hour. Actually, that water is still reasonably warm. But we're a little bit more than an hour in. I'm going to throw on the BRB screen. I'm going to use the little homesteader's room, and I'll be right back. And we're back. Goodness gracious, I love tea. He's good stuff. Ooh, okay, well, I think we got ourselves, let's see. I've got 25 minutes left on the bread, so the bread's just gonna continue to bake. Because bread is just going to bake. Because that's the fun of baking, is you do your thing and then you wait a while, which the fun thing is if I was doing something, well, if I was doing something else, I could actually get other chores taken care of, but instead I get to relax around the fire, which is nice. But yeah, I'm really hoping this turns out pretty good. Based off what I've had of the samplings of my spatula of the dough, tastes really, really, really good. Really, I'm excited to see how this turns out. But I just have to be patient now. But I am personally a huge fan of persimmons. Persimmons are one of the tastiest things that grow in Eastern North America, like wild, but taste really good. I mean, sure, pawpaws are really high up there. Spice bush fruit is pretty good too. Granted, it's better used as a spice or a trailside snack versus like something you can actually make a meal out of. You can make a meal. You can make really delicious stuff with persimmons. Okay, squirrel. Thanks for letting us know how you feel. Oh god. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. A little bit of acid reflux. No big deal. But yeah, persimmons are great, and I honestly should be taking a little bit more time out of my life to actually forage for some. But the sad thing is, I don't actually have any place I can go where there's a whole bunch of persimmon trees. I know of spots where I can find like 3 persimmon trees, and I can get an okay-ish amount of persimmons off this. That's actually one of the big reasons why I bought the pulp, is I knew I could get enough for the recipe. I could just go there, buy the thing, and I have enough for my recipe. I don't know of any like local spots where I can find like a whole bunch of persimmon trees. Now, I am trying to eventually fix my lack of persimmon problem by growing some. Currently, I have 2 persimmon trees on my property, but they are small trees. They're small and they're cute. They're not yet big in actually making fruit yet, which I'm hoping by 2027 I'll be getting a couple persimmons off of them. Hopefully by that time I'll be able to start getting some persimmons off of them. We'll see. Chucks, I really hope I can get some chestnuts next year, because I got a few chestnuts in last year in 24, but I didn't get no chestnuts this year. I don't think any of the flowers got pollinated properly, which I might, if I'm ambitious enough, I might try to hand pollinate the chestnut flowers, but we'll see. I mean, I've got 3 chestnut trees, and they're getting bigger and bigger every year, and as they get bigger and bigger, they make more flowers, so there's more pollen out in the front yard, because they're all in the front yard. So I'm really hoping next year will be a good chestnut year. Hopefully, we'll see. Fire. How dare you do this to me? Bah. Mm-hmm. Yep, that's hanging out around the fire. Just a face full of smoke. But yeah, I will also say, like, one of the things that actually excited me about the place I bought the persimmon pulp from, they actually knew what they were doing for their persimmons, at least as far as harvesting them, which is really important. Because it's really important that persimmons be 100% fully ripe before you do anything with them, because they're a stringent, very stringent fruit when they're underripe. And what they did is they had, well, actually the correct way to harvest them is to let them fall from the tree. Just let them naturally fall off the tree, because then they are ripe at that point. And there's also other ways you can tell. They'll have a orangish color to them. It's not a bright orange, it's just a subtle orange color. And when you see that, you know you're dealing with something that's probably ripe. Because when they're unripe, they're more of a greenish, yellowish color. And then they ripen up to an orange color. But there's a saying where if you want to get good persimmons, you gotta fight the ants for them. And what that means is you get them off the ground. But what this place did, because apparently they had a whole row of persimmon trees right next to their driveway. They had 5-gallon buckets with PVC in them. Well, a 5-gallon bucket with concrete and a PVC pole. So that's supposed to be a mobile post, if you will. And then to these posts, they attached shade cloth, like you would see at a nursery. So as the persimmons fell off actually, I can kind of make a thing here. But they would have 4 poles, and all the corners will be supported. So you'd basically have something that's kind of in this shape. And they would have this set up underneath the trees. As the persimmons fall, they all roll to the center, and they can collect the persimmons. Which I gotta say, that was actually... I've never... if I go looking for persimmons, I just, forage off the ground. I am still very new into my persimmon growing journey, so... Ooh. Oh, man. but I've never seen like how people do setups for actually harvesting them. Which was real cool, getting to see that. So I was just like, cool. That's an idea if my persimmon trees turn out good, but we'll see. Persimmon trees can be monoecious. Monoecious means you can have male and female trees. My trees are young. You don't know the gender of your tree until it makes flowers. So there could be a very real possibility that both my trees are male, and then I don't get any persimmons, which I'd be a sad Sugi if that happened. But I'm hoping that's not the case. We'll see. I did get them from a tree giveaway event in my local area. Birds are having a lot of fun right now. They're having a lot of fun. But that's also the reason why I filled up the bird feeder before stream, was so that way they could have fun and give me a little bit of entertainment while I let bread bake for an hour. While live. Which probably was not my best decision, but I have been wanting to make this, and it's a good reason to bust out the Dutch oven. So what's my time? Ah, okay. Sweetums. So got 15 minutes left on here, and with that, time to turn it. And then all the birds fly away when I stand up, because they're like, oh no, the human's gonna get us. I think I was turning that way. There we go. Then the lid gets turned the other direction. Granted, those coals really burned down. Those coals burned down. Let's see here. So my coals on the top have really burnt down. It's kind of like the downside of the soft maple firewood I've been using as of late. Doesn't make lasting coals, which sucks for baking. So try. I think that's just ash. Not much in coals there. But the coals are somewhat replenished, so I can live with that. And big stretch. Okay. Well, actually, it's getting close enough to noon. It's getting close to noon, and I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna make myself a small little snack here. So this is a Jonathan apple. This is one of the apples I got. One of the varieties of apples I got at the orchard yesterday. Not how I intended for that to work, but those seeds out. And it's technically not a big deal. There we go. Get ourselves a couple of good apple slices. So, here. Oh my. Wowzers, that's good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Note to self. Definitely go to the orchard next year for apples, because holy smokes, that's good. That's really good. My goodness. Real sweet too. Can't wait to make cider with these. But I'm getting slicey for a reason. I could just eat it, you know? Want to be a little bit extra here. You. And a butter knife. Whoa. Okay. I was deciding to smoke extra hard, so I'm going to move it to get it further away from me. But we're going to go with the most classic of classic snacks. And that is peanut butter and apple. A little bit of peanut butter on apple slices. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Actually, my slices turned out pretty flat. I'm making apple peanut butter sandwich. That's the stuff. That's the stuff. Oh gosh. That is some. Oh man. Apples and peanut butter. It's a childhood favorite of mine. And you know what? Even as an adult, it's still amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now I just have to stop splattering peanut butter all over my cutting board. That's the hard part. Nope. Sorry about that. I think that fire is due for a piece of wood. Whatcha? Wait. Did I lose tracking? Huh. Oh. Okay. I lost tracking, and I know why. I failed to take into account that it's sunny outside. Give me a moment here. Because I got a fix for this, but I gotta grab a thing. And grab. Because it's sunny outside. And The iPhone, unfortunately, is black. Here. Okay. Hopefully we can have tracking back by the time the bread's done. Ideally, by the time the bread's done, we should be able to get the tracking back. But I should have put something earlier to shade it. But it's been sitting in the sun all this time, and when it sits in the sun, it gets hot. It doesn't like it, even if it's not hot really right now. Well, that's fun. Oh well. Granted, I get the feeling by the time I take care of my snack, that bread might be done. Ideally. We got 5-ish more minutes on the bread. Granted, once I finish my snack, I'm gonna try to reestablish connection with the iPhone. It's basically what I do is I just put a cardboard box on the ring light. And generally speaking, that's enough to, it keeps, as long as I keep the sun off of it, it cools down. It was just when I was getting ready today, I didn't think about the sunlight affecting it, because, well, I do these streams at night too. And then at night, all this area of my house is in shade. Well, in evening it's in shade. So I have less to worry about at those hours, but hey, camera still works, so that only overheated on me one time. iPhone, on the other hand, it is overheated on me multiple times. Granted, I've taken measures to keep the fire from overheating it. But those are measures I take every Campfire cooking stream. For today, I forgot about the sunlight. It would have been nice if they actually made the phone white. It wouldn't overheat as much. Granted, it's also an old iPhone too, so. Okay. Well, snack's done. I'm gonna see if iPhone Kun is happy. Yes, birds, flee. Flee my presence. Okay, iPhone, are you happy now? Yep. Okay. It's also a lot of fun to stare into a screen. While you have a fire in your face. Hello everyone, sorry I'm late. Oh, don't worry about it. But yeah, my iPhone has overheated in response to sunlight. So, I'm trying to get my tracking back. Now the magic question is, will it talk to the computer? Because that's the biggest... Yep, that is all... well, we'll see. Let's see here. Oh. Thank you, timer, for your service. I'm in the middle of tech issues right now. Ooh. Wait, what? Wait, what? Yes. Select. Oh, failed to start with... Oh, you son of a gun. VTuber down, VTuber down. It's... I know what I have to do to fix this, and it's called shut down both instances of VTube Studio, then restart both instances of VTube Studio. And that's usually the fix. The good old turn it off, turn it back on again. Because this isn't the first time this has happened. Okay. Hey, iPhone, are you gonna... you're thinking about it. Ooh, okay. And... oh yeah, cause... and yes. Yes! VTubers up. I am back. Okay. I need to make room. So yeah. How are you doing, Yoshinaru? How's life treating you? Having a good weekend? The VTuber's back. Okay. Sure. Let's see here. Actually, no. I don't trust this. That's the thing I don't like about that thing. It's a little bit too clumsy. Come here, you. So I'm gonna check on this. Ooh. I like that. Ouch. Ouch. Ooh. I just remembered YouTube doesn't count lurkers unless they say something, so I'll be lurking. Okay. Actually, I don't know. I'm alive, so that's something. How's the bread looking? It's looking good. I just need the... Ooh. It's just I pulled the lid off with my glove and... It's hot! Well, the lid's hot. Because I actually replenished the... Watch out! But yeah. Here's a better view of the bread. I think this looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. Now there's the actual... Oh, don't worry, I've burnt myself multiple times on doing this. It's a common occurrence. Well, it actually hasn't been that common. I've been reasonably good about taking care of myself. It's a lot worse for Twitch lurkers if you don't say something. They don't count as a viewer. Huh. Interesting. Because I knew if you were lurking in Twitch and just had the, like, say if you just had it like a tab open, it wouldn't count that. But dang. Granted, I know like some platforms have been like really a lot more cracked down on some of that type of stuff. But yeah, we're gonna do the toothpick test. Where you stab it, trying to get rid of bot viewers, huh? So if you stab your bread and your toothpick comes out clean, you're cooked. Well, you're cooked good. Granted, I actually do really like the fact that when I go to stab it, I have, like, there's the resistance of the crust, and then it goes in real nice and easy. So yeah, the bread is done. The bread is very much done. Sure. The bread is beautiful. Yeah. I can't really smell it right now. But I really like the look of this thing. Here's the question: did you technically cook the bread or bake it? So I Dutch oven this, so I'll go with bake. I'm just glad I didn't have to get too crazy with like working the dough. Whereas if I was actually making like an actual proper like regular bread, which actually yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Okay. Bread, you hang out there. I need to do things. And by do things, I mean go get things. Because I need a spatula. Because this bread's going to take forever to cool down if I leave it in the oven. Because that's how cast iron works. Cast iron just holds heat amazingly well. Which is good when you're trying to bake it. But I need to get this out of here so that bread can start resting. And also I would like to get this bread to the point where it's at room temp, well, at a reasonable temperature. So we're just gonna go around, square the side, and we'll just do some lifting. That is going to be the downside of the Dutch oven. I can't get any like a super good pry on it. So I'm just going to kind of just be nice and easy working the edges. Okay. It looks like, oh. There we go. Bada bang, bada boom. And I only have one burnt spot. Oh, question. Are you going to dress up for Halloween or not? Currently, I don't have any plans for dressing up for Halloween. I don't really do much of anything on Halloween. I've also just never been much of a dress-up type of person. I'm kind of on the boring side. Come on, handle. Come here, handle. Definitely probably had way too many coals on the bottom. Which makes me glad I didn't try to replenish the coals at the bottom. I want to take a look at this. It's a little crusty on the bottom. But there be the bread. For now. Bread's there for now. It must rest, as all good breads must. But I can grab bread cutter knife. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if I'll do a stream on Halloween. Actually, wait, when is, like, what day? Friday? Friday. I don't think I will actually do a stream on Halloween, but on the 30th, I'll probably do I'll do a stream I'll do a stream on Thursday, since Thursdays are my usual time, and it'll probably be pumpkin carving. Because that's something I did last year, was I carved pumpkins around the fire pit. And that was fun. I enjoyed doing that. So I think that's what I'll do this year, is I'll carve pumpkins around the fire pit. As far as, like, doing anything, like, themed for that particular, like, day. Granted, well, let's see. I'm trying to think here. Because I know I have plans for the 1st. I actually may not have to worry about. I don't know if I want to do something. I definitely want to do pumpkin carving, and I want to do that close to Halloween, so that way I have the pumpkins done. But I'm not sure, because I am on call 25th through the 26th, so I will be off. So I should be able to do a stream on the 2nd. But that also begs the question what I'm going to do in November. I don't know. Granted, once November rolls around, I can actually start working on some of my other recipes I have. Well, some of the other recipes I found. Which I'm definitely very eager to try out at some point. Let's see. This bread's probably going to have to take a while to rest. That's the fun of everything, is the bread must rest. Well, it must rest down to room temperature. Well, reasonable temperature for consumption, but unfortunately, I'm currently I'm slowly getting nerfed by sunlight right now, because there's all the shade that my shade cell gives me. It's over here. I want the shade over here. I've lost my shade as the sun moves across the sky. Whew. Granted, I do remember some of in my earlier days where I did these streams without like any shade. Holy smokes. between the sky fireball and this fire, I cooked. Even if it was like cool, like really cool, like 40s. Oh my goodness, it was so much heat. It was also just really hard to see because of how much the light gets in my eyes, which now light's starting to reflect off the GoPro. Okay. Let's do some slicing. Let's slice some bread. Let's cut some bread. I want to get a good slice of bread here. Because this stuff is still very warm to the touch. Let's see. I literally just brought that one plate, didn't I? Honestly, this works as a plate. There we go. Yeah, we got things a little bit too burnt. Had way too many coals underneath, but it's a very thin layer with lots of tasty goodness inside. Actually, how's it smell? Ooh, it smells pretty good. Doesn't really smell like anything in particular, but it smells good. Okay. And it's even and also in like today's funny coincidence, or just coincidences, this slice of bread is kind of shaped in the outline of my home state, in my state, which is funny. Okay, let's go for something thicker. Goodness gracious, this bread's gonna have to rest for a while. But that's also why I'm kind of cutting it. So, has a little bit more surface area, kind of chills a little bit more. Okay. I'm also being cooked alive by the sun. So, yeah. Come here. It is time for what they say is the hobby. So, I went to a brewery yesterday, and it's Flywheel Brewing. They're located in Elizabethtown, Kentucky, and I got a saison from them. And this is going to be my hobby for today. Well, my reward for doing this, in addition to the delicious bread. And if it looks like this can of beer is massive, it's because it is. It's a Crowler can, so it's like 32 ounces. Ooh, that smells great though. Ooh, smells great. Looks great. Park you. Rest the can safely there. Have a sip. That's good saison. Okay. Let's start taking some bites of bread. Ooh, man. That's good bread. That's really good bread. It's got good sweetness to it, but it's not super sweet. And it definitely has the flavor of the persimmons. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. Oh. Can I do that? Can you stay there? You did not stay there. If I could get you to stay there, it would help out a lot, but And we lost GoPro because it's overheating. Because sunlight. There's way too much sunlight. Oh god. And now my car is assaulting me. Okay. Well, I genuinely would not mind trying more of this bread and yapping about it. But both me and my streaming equipment is getting absolutely assaulted by sunlight right now. So, like, wowzers. Even my mouse is starting to get hot. So, I'm going to have to call it for today. So, I'd like to thank everyone very much for tuning in. I hope you all have a great and wonderful rest of your day, evening, or night, or whatever it is, wherever it's at. And hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.